don't know why I run away. I try so hard. So I was thinking of that song the other day. I see it as The Weekend, but it's really The Weekend. I don't know, there's not an E before the E-N-D on The Weekend. And all those years with Lana Del Rey climbing to the H of the Hollywood sign, I thought he was The Weekend. So, but anyway, because every time it would be like The Weekend, 3, 2, 1, there would be, it's a whole thing about a countdown coming before the weekend. So anyway, and his songs would come up. But the other song, it would be, I was thinking 2 songs this morning. I don't know why I run away. I try so hard to get away. And they not like us. They not like us. They not like So, last night I was talking about Kendrick Lamar's They Not Like Us. They Not Like Us. And in the beginning of the video, I was all like, oh my god, the clown. When he's behind the door and all you see is his face and like the hair and he's in whiteface. This would be an African American guy. All I could think of was my old neighbor, Mark, who lived next door to me when I was, technically these were during the years that I was harassed and terrorized to death. And Mark is almost Anthony Bourdain, parts unknown guy. He's like somewhat in that category, kind of, or the musician with the pork chop sideburns that won a Grammy like 2 years ago. I don't know how to describe him, but he's an unusual character. But he would be like actually white and look like the guy who pulled the slat or the slit on the metal door for the beginning of the video. They not like us. They not like us. They not like us. And you can't help but love this rapper because what an unusual sound. Like, he's technically unique, original, the whole 9 yards. So anyway, and fast. So, but what I wanted to talk about last night, which I forgot, and I titled my video thinking I did talk about it, but I didn't. So in addition to the character looking like a neighbor of mine, would be the password. So first of all, they knock and do shave and a haircut, 2 bits. The character who reminds me of Mark says, you know, what's the password or whatever he says, and he says, I see dead people. Done. The whole beginning of the video is all marked up with references that are very Philadelphia, even though the singer, the rapper, is from Compton, LA. I was like, stop it. So I See Dead People, of course, is a reference from The Sixth Sense with M. Night Shyamalan, and Cole is the young boy who sees dead people from the movie eons ago, like 90s, I don't know when it was. So that younger generations might not even know that movie exists. So he probably does. Kendrick probably knows the movie exists. I See Dead People. So my last name happens to be Cole. And on one or two rare occasions, I've used the name Cole as a first name. You know, I worked at a yoga studio for a while, and I just went by Cole for some reason. So I was trying to, I didn't really need my name out there all over the place. And I have a pen name, Cole Vans, or did I use Cole Vans or Aaron Vans? I used Aaron Vans on my book. Anyway, so I put my 2 last names together, Cole Vans, and went by that. But anyway, M. Night Shyamalan is a Philadelphia region, you know, director, producer of movies with a whole big story. And he filmed right here in Philadelphia The Sixth Sense with Bruce Willis. Sorry. In fact, they have the little locations around Philly where you can see, I think St. Albans Street is where they filmed. I took care of someone's cats way back in 2000, like we'll say 15. This is when the Pope would show up to Philadelphia. And 3 of my clients, I was cat sitting, dog walking, all kinds of stuff. 3 of my clients were living in different places while the Pope was here.
What is missing on
It's like they needed to move. So he actually smelled good. He was like a frankincense or nag champa, which kind of grounds people and makes people feel, you know, as long as it's not over the top. But I meant to get that the other day. I was like, I kind of need some of that to settle down. So anyway, during the Pope time period, one of my clients and his wife and 2 kids temporarily moved to a house on St. Albans Street. I think it's in the 21, 22, oh no, it'll be 23 or 24, because there used to be a Kennedy convenience store, which has changed, and they were on 22nd, so it was on like 2300 block, we'll go with. And there sat Cole on a bench with Bruce Willis, I think, I forget the scene now. And in fact, Cole said in the movie, I see dead people. So I think it's a little bit funny because I grew up in such a way, so I decided to put this on myself a little bit. So I'm like, oh my god, I totally identify with some of the stuff that he's bringing up here. I know, you know, only because there are people out here who actually experience the world in such a way. Maybe they have certain jobs, they, you know, they've tried to be in the corporate world or similar. I was a little bit in publishing, a little bit in credit card corporation. I've had all of these different jobs, and metaphorically, I could see dead people. And dead people metaphorically would be do a spin around here, this cheese bag. Also took her a cheese all these dogs there, but I always think of he and his wife. And I didn't meet him, actually. That's the interesting part. I met his wife. His wife did all the, you know, communications, and I met with her originally to, you know, get the lowdown of their penthouse, the AR building, 210 Washington Square West, so 11, 12, 13, southwest corner there. So anyway, it's near part of Jefferson Neuroscience building. There's Jefferson University Hospital, and they have, you know, a bunch of buildings. By the way, it's pretty chilly out today. I'm excited because I don't love it when it gets too warm. I'm not a hot weather person. So, but metaphorically, I had a difficult time with a lot of the dynamics that I came across wherever I worked. And, you know, there's usual politics or people you can't stand at work or whatever. But it got really bizarre to the point I actually could see like energy whipping up into a vortex in some cases, and it's like, I'm like, this is bizarro world, and I wondered, could I see dead people? Are these people actually deadened on some level? Because I would also wonder, how do you get that voice? Like Maria Bamford used to do a skit, she's a comedian, about, you know, Maria, you know, the woman calling from the temp agency about a job. Have I got a job for you? But the woman sounds really, I guess in the past I would have said, how do you get to that point where you sound like you're mature or in charge? Like, there's a, I don't know. Maybe I sound a little bit better these days, but in a way that person would have been deadened enough to handle jobs that are, you know, brain killers, you know what I mean? Or be in a position to sound a certain way.